Welcome back to Artscape. I'm your host, Bill Harris, and we're here with Kenny Brown, and now we're going to get into Kenny's tattoos. Kenny, when somebody sees one of your tattoos, how do they know it's a Kenny Brown tattoo? Like, what is some of your specialties? Like, how would they say that's definitely a Kenny Brown tattoo?
Well, in the old days, I only used to put 3 fingers on everything, but
okay.
I've kind of matured past that now.
Yeah.
I'm pretty. I don't know how they would recognize it as one of mine. I have a pretty, obviously, tattoo style is an illustrative style to begin with.
You're pretty eclectic. You take in a lot of different influences.
Yeah, I have a hard time. I have a hard time sometimes with some of my contemporaries that every tattoo they put out kind of feels the same. Mm-hmm. I'm a huge fan of kind of being maybe not an expert in every style, but I'd like to be able to try and competently apply any kind of style my client would want,
Yeah.
Hopefully it's just because they look clean and bright and people like the way they look. That's.
Right. And you feel like, I know myself being an artist, we're always trying to get better. Like you're always, do you look at some tattoos you've done maybe, 10 years ago? And
10 days ago. Yeah. I mean, every time I finish a tattoo, I look at it and go, oh.
Yeah.
How am I going to sleep tonight?
Right. All right. Well,
he has to live with this.
Look, we have a few samples of your tattoos here. Okay. And we're going to go over them. You've sort of picked out some of your favorites. Yeah. And why don't you tell us about this one?
My client wishes that her boyfriend was Abraham Lincoln. So we just got chatting and thought it was very funny. The sort of a Japanese specter has a long sort of snake neck. I can't remember the name of the demon, but that mixed with the idea that.
Just back up a second. So somebody comes into your shop and says, I want a Japanese version of Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, it's kind of what it turned into.
That's what they just turn that over to you, and you have to come up with the image.
Yeah, the idea was that the gun holds the ghost, and then that's ultimately what scared John Wilkes Booth out. So it's like that's an interesting one because there's actually sort of a weird little story about it.
Let me ask you this. Do you like that creative part better, or do you like the actual applying the ink better?
I like the finished product, honestly. I like watching it progress as it goes through. Mm-hmm. So I guess applying the ink is my favorite part of it. The design part tends to be when you're working an illustrative type of a career, there's a deadline. I'm drawing, I wish I could do more, but it's time to work.
Right.
Now I have to be done, it's time to make this happen,
Right.
So it's interesting, just working with the clients and kind of letting them lay the groundwork and then going forward from there.
I think what a lot of people don't realize is every work you do is a commission.
Yes.
Now, except for your own artwork, that everything you do is you have a boss. You have somebody that you sort of have to please.
Yeah, I'm basically selling myself to every single person that comes in the chair, which is interesting because it means there's you have to produce something with the idea of selling it to someone else, and it's a really strange gray area to be in as an artist, but it's ultimately rewarding because it's a one-on-one experience.
Right.
So,
all right, tell us about this one.
A fellow wanted to get a tattoo of his pug on his foot, and but instead I tattooed my Boston Terrier Marty on him. But he still liked it, so it's okay.
So you snuck it in there?
I snuck it in, yeah. I was like, you don't care how I color this? All right, I have a perfect idea,
Yeah, you love your dogs. Yeah. All right, let's look at this guy. All right, tell me about that one. That's a beautiful one.
Yeah, the idea was the girl wanted a snake attacking a rabbit, and so this is what I've been trying to what I like to do. This is pretty indicative of where I'm trying to go with my art, which is it has a highly illustrative style, which has sort of a comic booky kind of feel, but then I'm incorporating Japanese elements into it, and I'm also taking certain effects like the way the fur is on the rabbit. That's a very Western, like an American style tattoo as well. Mm-hmm. So it's just, I'm trying to blend a lot of styles together, at least styles that I find interesting, and kind of hopefully coming up with my own flavor.
Now, do people come into your shop and just open a book and say, I want that one?
It happens, but we're a custom shop, and all my guys are unbelievable artists, so we try to just get them to sort of lay the groundwork for us and bring in any references that may be applicable for the job, and then moving forward from there and coming up with something specific for the clients. You know, we do 99% custom work.
Yeah,
so.
That's a big difference. I mean, this is an original piece of artwork.
Absolutely.
You designed this.
And it's never, it won't be put on anyone else.
I was going to ask you, what if somebody else, I mean, I know.
Then I would draw a new snake fighting a rabbit.
Is that right?
You know, if someone wants a snake fighting a rabbit, in fact, I did a back piece of a samurai fighting a snake. A guy came in and said, I want that samurai fighting a snake. I said, well, I can't do that. And I was like, well, how about I do a samurai fighting a snake, and the snake's belching out about 20 other snakes? How about that? And he's
Right.
like, so, variations on a theme. You know?
Right, right.
You know as well as I do in archery, but then the sort of realistic shading is a little bit more indicative of maybe European or American style shading. But I think it's a good marriage.
Do most people ask you that, or they just want the end result? Do they say
They just want the end result.
Right,
You know, when people come to me with an idea for imagery, in my mind, I instantly know kind of the fountain I'm going to go to. You know, the well I'm going to go to.
And they give you pretty much complete control.
Yeah, some
Yeah.
people are picky, and then I want to give them their money back and kick them into
Right,
the ear.
right,
But
Right.
happens sometimes.
Right, all right,
No one
let's-
said it was easy.
Right. Let's one more, last one.
That's a cute circus bear juggling balls
Yeah, I
on
love
a
that one.
unicycle.
Yeah.
It's
And you
actually
made
a
it-
fellow tattooer from a shop down the road, from a shop Golden Monkey, a guy named Mike.
Yeah, I love that piece. Tell us about cover-ups. So what's a cover-up, and do you do cover-ups?
We're actually kind of how we built our reputation was on cover-ups. My reputation was built on cover-ups. I've now...
But none of these are cover-ups.
No, none of these are cover-ups, but I've passed that to my apprentice, Kelly Drake, who works with us, and so I give him most of my cover-ups these
Right.
days. But if you come in, you have a tattoo that's no good, the idea is we go over it, and we can give you anything you want, as long as you give us 2 to 3 times the size of the space, and you come up with as many different ideas as what you want instead of what you got. Once we have that list, we can narrow it down and find some things that really work. And then again, it has nothing to do, the client should never even have to think about it being a cover-up. They should say, I want this, and we need to figure out how to make it a cover-up, and we need to give them what they want.
Right.
I mean, that's how an artist should work,
Okay. Hey, Kenny, we're going to take one more break, and
Okay.
listen, we're going to be right back, and we're going to talk to Kenny Brown about his artwork. We'll be right back. This is Artscape.